would be a fool not to love you. Hello Aromas, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Red Embrace Hollywood. We're here with Markus. I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest. I have survived thus far, and I will continue to survive as needed. Nor will I selfishly leave my dearest companion. Like, I'm sad. He reached out, trailing his finger through my hair, his touch soft and barely perceptible. Then leaning forward, Markus brought my hand to his own face. Oh, really? Gently nuzzling the back of it, rubbing his cheek against my knuckles. Like, this is sad as shit. For a cryptid old vampire, you sure act a lot like a cat. Pull my hand. Don't pull your hand back, you dumb bitch. Lightly stroke his cheek. He closed his eyes, pressing his cold, smooth skin into my palm. At this moment, Michiko, I am possessed by a most peculiar feeling. My heart is heavy, weighed down by more love than it has the capacity to handle. At least you can feel that. Which these days is very little indeed. Whatever labels others care to apply to it, true, romantic, platonic, fraternal, hardly matters to me. For me, there is but one type of love, and I feel it most strongly when I gaze at you from a distance. Oh, he actually loves me. Are you saying you love me? Please. I would be so ever grateful. I would be a fool not to love you. Oh, but my love hardly follows the usual fashion, so don't set any expectations too soon. Don't worry, Aloysia gave me a warning. She told me that. I feel like we're not going to see him for a while. With a smile that perfectly mimicked his usual self, Markus turned purposefully away from me. It's best that you return to your hotel room. Another sunrise looms over us. But our paths will cross again before long. Be well, Michiko. Where are you going? Slipping his hands into his pockets, Markus finally left my side. I watched as he walked slowly down the street, as nonchalant and unhurried as if he had nowhere to go. The last smile he'd given me was so convincing. I almost could have believed it was real. If I hadn't seen him earlier, I never would have guessed that Markus nearly died tonight. And no one who strolled past him would ever know either. Oh, this is the ending? Oh, thank God. I was gonna be like, shit. No. The next evening, I'd still gotten no word of a new mission. After waiting around for a little while, hunger stirred in my stomach, so I decided to drink from Aloysia. I need comfort right now. I dialed Aloysia's number, and to my surprise, she didn't pick up. All I got was her answering machine, which meant she probably wasn't around. Maybe I'd be better off finding human for the night. Oh, that's a surprise. Michiko? Excuse me, a moment of your time, please. What? Just as I was about to leave the hotel, Sharice's agent called out behind me. The evening had been uneventful so far, so I'd figure I was in the clear, but apparently not. Miss Locke would like to speak to you. No! No! That's my only choice. Let's go back to page 1. Hi, Morgan. No! Please head over to the meeting room. She's waiting for you there. Offering me a slightly urgent, uneasy nod, he turned to hurry off somewhere. Oh, isn't this about someone dying again? I could only imagine what had come up this time. But my instincts told me it wasn't going to be good. Michiko. How gracious of you to make an appearance. When I entered the meeting room, Sharice rose from her seat, approaching me with slow, deliberate strides. The troubled look in her eyes instantly confirmed my suspicions. Well, I won't mince words. As you might have already guessed, I am in need of your services. Last night there was another murder. Not Markus though. Sharice paused for a long few moments, briefly biting her lip. The body was mutilated, her ears and eyes cut off, wires stuffed into the sockets. This makes the third victim of this hidden killer, and only the third victim whose body we've found. There may very well be others who have yet to be uncovered. We can't afford to ignore the situation. What if it's just a Golgotha agent or so what am I gonna do? Dig graves, recite memorial poetry? Technically my girl would be upset right now, right? But I'm not gonna do that. What if it's just a Golgotha agent or a vigilant Mavar? It's not. I agree. You're very much correct. It is a great hazard to all of us and needs to be dealt with swiftly. She shook her head intently, letting out a strained sigh. We believe the killer regularly returns to the sewers where the previous bodies have been found, because the stench makes even distinct scents very difficult to track. However, right before I asked you here, I received word that my agent lost contact with her partner by the Sunset Strip. She tracked his scent to the sewers but called for help rather than risk entering by herself. Smart idea! She must learn from the horror cliches. What if he's already dead? Better one dead than two. That's true. To be brutally honest, I doubt the agent is still alive, but knowing our culprit, it's likely that his partner would have also met her end. Now, if he were to send a large group, I have no doubt that our killer would easily realize they have been discovered. This person must be extraordinarily sensitive to the presence of others, as they've somehow avoided detection so far. Therefore, I intend to send only 2 agents. Kedrick, one of my more combat skilled assistants, and you. Kedrick sucks. But I can't really fight. That is why Kedrick is accompanying you. Apparently he can't fight either. Violence may not be the most practical solution after all. The killer could respond to any manner of persuasive techniques, and if possible, I would rather subdue than kill them. Still, I acknowledge it would be foolish to go in unarmed. Her brow furrowed into a deep, unhappy line. There are weapons I've left for you at the front desk, just in case they are necessary. Good luck, Chico. Make sure you return intact. I'll be back with the killer, or what's left of them. I'm not coming back with the killer. When I returned to the lobby's desk, the clerk discreetly handed me a black box. It held an expensive-looking combat knife and a Glock handgun, complete with a small amount of ammunition. I took the weapons into my jacket, wondering if I'd ended up needing them. I never used them anyway. Like, what the hell? Outside, Sharice's car was waiting for me. I climbed into the back seat where my partner was already slouched inside. Okay, I don't know why Sharice sent you, and honestly, I don't really care. Kedrick, a short-tanned man with a hooked nose and beady eyes, gave me a disparaging look. All I need to know is this: what's your combat experience like? I've never fought anyone before. Ugh. He says with disgust. Alright, just point the end with the hole at the bad guy. Remember to take off the fucking safety arc, okay? I'm sure you'll figure it out. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, I will figure it out. And that was the extent of our conversation during the car ride. The perpetually silent driver took us straight to the Sunset Strip, or more accurately, a few blocks down, where the missing agent had disappeared. My senses were already prickling on high alert as I stepped out of the car. Motioning for me to follow, Kedrick carefully stalked down the nearest alley, one hand tucked into his jacket. Sure enough, the manhole cover on the ground was slightly cracked open, marked by the lingering presence of a vampire. We crawled down the ladder, dropping into the rat-infested depths. The sewer's potent smell instantly clouded my head, but Kedrick wrinkled his nose in disgust. Why'd it have to be the sewer? Well, real estate's pretty expensive these days, Kedrick. Cute. Where'd you hear that one? Seinfeld? No, I never watched it. Snorting with content. Yeah. Kedrick pulled out his own gun and started to creep forward. Watch the back. Stay close to me. He gestured for me to turn sideways, following him with my back on the wall, or to the wall. In our cautious formation, we started to slowly move along the sewer path. The acidic smell of vampire blood rose over the stench, taking us deeper into the tunnels. I could tell Kedrick felt just as anxious as I did, maybe more so. His eyes darted around constantly, lips pulled back to show his gritted teeth. As we rounded the next corner, something caught my eye behind us. I instinctively jumped back, squinting to try and make it out. But it was only a rat hopping out of the water. Silently hurried back to Kedrick's side. We ain't gonna be talking out here. I turned around, hurrying up to catch up with Kedrick. But he was gone. I could still detect his presence, but it was quickly getting distant. How had he vanished so suddenly? There was only one choice. I had to follow him. If I tried to leave now, the killer could probably grab me before I escaped, and Kedrick might still be alive. I'm so optimistic that he might be alive still. Focusing on his scent, I hurried after them, trying to keep my footsteps silent. At first, it seemed like they were moving incredibly fast, getting further and further away. But soon I realized I was getting closer. They must have stopped moving. A few steps further, and I heard a strange wet sound echoing down the tunnel, until just around the corner, I spotted them. A thin, androgynous figure crouched before a limp body. I could tell I couldn't tell what they were doing, but I saw their hand repeatedly moving up to their face, then back to the corpse. Their other hand worked in a sawing motion, and as awful smell of vampire blood filled the air, I realized they were cutting off Kedrick's flesh. Quietly approach. Shoot at them. Hands behind your head now. They ain't gonna listen. Quietly approach. It was what I chose. Technically, wait! Shit. I should have saved. I could have shot them. The one time my girl will use combat. Trying to move as soundly as possible, I started to approach the figure. It seemed they didn't notice my presence until... You don't scare me as much anymore. He abruptly rose to his feet, jerking towards me. The dim sewer lights flickered over the corpse-like skin, a painfully thin body and a belt of glittering tools. Half of his face was strangely beautiful, and the other half was deeply disfigured. Something screamed at me to look away, but something stronger kept my eyes fixed in place. Oh, hello. The man finally offered a casual greeting, slipping his still dripping scalpel. I'm gonna choose old choices because I need him to be on my side again. His still dripping scalpel into his belt. Then he lifted a bone-thin arm to wipe off his blood-stained lips, which peeled back to reveal yellow teeth. Human teeth, not fangs. I was running when you'd finally show up. But you just had to bring along a friend, didn't you? His voice didn't match his appearance one bit, a smooth, pleasant baritone, rising and falling almost playfully. Well, that's alright. I don't think he'll be eavesdropping on us anytime soon. Have you been the one killing all these vampires? What the hell are you talking about? You just murdered someone. Your face. I think when I did your face, I was doing it as a joke. We're not joking anymore. Have you been the one killing all these vampires? How about I let you work that one out yourself? I've heard you're pretty smart, but I have to say you're really not showing it right now. He slowly shook his head, giving me an unsettling smile. Right, you don't know who I am, do you? No, oh, Lazarus. That's his name, not Leviathan or whatever the hell I said. No, of course you wouldn't. You can call me Lazarus. Lazarus? But you might know me as the one who was supposed to get bitten. You mean at the abattoir? What happened? Don't worry, we'll get to that in a second. I want to clear something up, though. I'm not a murderer. I'm a vampire hunter, which makes me the hero here, not the villain. You know, like soldiers, policemen, the guy who flips the electric chair switch. You can't compare yourself to those people? No, that's going to ask me for death. Why do you hunt vampires, then? I'm curious. I'm also very scared now again. I can't directly look at him in the eyes. It's just very scary. Lapsing into silence, he gave me a smile that lasted several seconds, growing more unsettling by the moment. Now you're very up close. I don't know if you've already realized this, but the true power of a vampire doesn't lie in their blood. Blood's only part of it. The true power is in their flesh. So that's how you've grown so powerful. It sounds disgusting, doesn't it? You can say it. I won't be offended. Nobody likes a cannibal, but blood drinking? That counts as sexy. It's a shame Lestat and Hannibal didn't switch places. He murmured distractedly for a moment, rolling his eyes in obvious scorn. But yes, that's part of the reason why I hunt vampires. The more vampires I kill and eat, the stronger I get. I did not know his vein was like this down here, because I tend to not like to look at the chest. In fact, I've already got more powerful than a lot of your kind. I guess you could call it a vicious cycle. You're a disgusting horrible monster. I have to admit, I'm kind of impressed. You should be. I put my soul into my work. That's why I look so fucked up. His gaze fell into Kedrick's shredded body for a moment. The truth is, I've been hunting vampires for some time now. Used to hunt a lot less often, without all the showmanship. I was afraid I'd get caught and killed, most hunters are. Until one day, Charisse took notice of my efforts and contacted me. His voice abruptly grew strained. He kept smiling at me, but the look seemed frozen on his face, like someone had a gun against the back of his head. She and I made a deal. I'd get turned and serve her, and she'd take care of me. It sounded so nice. Lazarus took a long, deep breath, his emaciated chest rising and falling. So there I was, waiting inside the club, ready to graciously accept my promotion. It never came, though. My apology afterwards didn't come either. See, at first I thought it might have been God playing one of his bad jokes when he's not letting kids get raped or giving people cancer. He really likes to torture me. That line still gets me. It's like, God, that's so dark. But no, it wasn't God. It was just a guy named Andre, and you know him, don't you? I'm not gonna say I work for him. I'm instant dead right there. I'm instantly dead if I say that. As my mouse almost hits it. I'm glad we can agree on that. Maybe you do have some taste. He didn't try to hide the obvious mockery in his voice. You see, I captured a Golgotha who told me what happened that night. Andre ordered him to capture the Scar who was supposed to turn me. He decided to ruin the one thing in life I was looking forward to. And you know what? I don't even care about getting turned anymore. I just want dead. By the time he trailed off to... Wait! Lazarus had to kill Andre. Now I'm thinking about it. He trailed off to the last word. Lazarus seemed to be talking to himself more than to me. For a short while, he stared past me, his cold eyes vivisecting something unseen. But soon his focus snapped back to my face. Alright, I'm done monologuing. Even though all that self-pity feels so nice, I don't have anyone to talk down here. The vampires never listened to me. I guess this is when you try to kill me or capture me, right? Go ahead. Unless you want to make a deal, that is. All I want is to get out of here. I'll leave you in peace. No, what kind of deal? A simple one. You don't bother me, I don't bother you. I keep hunting, waiting right here in my filth. Okay? Until it's time for all hell to break loose. When that happens, I'll kill everyone stupid enough to fight you. Ah, that's how I fucking lived in Randall's Route. I only have one condition. When it's all over, you take me to Andre. Alright, Lazarus, you got yourself a deal. Shit, I'm already backstabbing. I'm already backstabbing Andre, so whatever. Interesting. I'm almost curious why he accepted, but I don't really want to know either. It's for my selfish benefits. I have learned from Markus. If I were you, I wouldn't waste time telling Charisse that I explained everything. She'd just give you a watered-down excuse. Then we're finished here, aren't we? Leave. I've talked too much. His voice grew colder, and he stared at me with even more distaste than before. Can I come back and see you again? Why would I want to see you again? You're a reminder of everything I lost. But what I want doesn't matter. I'm used to that. So I'll just do whatever makes you happy. I just want to extend my offer. With those quiet words, he turned his back on me. This is where I'm going to save for today's episode. We have met Lazarus. I don't know what's going to happen to Markus. And I can't find out either because Tyler's coming home now. So I'm not going to record any further than that. Because I feel like if I record further, we're going to get to a point where I want to continue playing and then I don't have time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful and I'll see you guys in the next one.